We're watching films on the toilet, because that's what dads have to do. When the movie's unsuitable for your kids, then pretend you need a number two. If you need a break from your family or spouse, there's a lavatorial picture house. Watch Terminator 2 while you're sitting on the loo. Enjoy the whole of Rambo 4 with your trousers on the floor. We're watching films on the toilet. How about you?
So Ben, I couldn't help but notice earlier when we were texting, you had started leaving voice messages instead of just writing out the text. Is that a new thing for you?
No, I do find them good. I tell you what it was. I was at work and I had a very short window. And the idea I was proposing to you, I felt like it might take a little bit of texting. Thought, it's much quicker if I can just speak. So I did. And you actually got back to me a lot quicker than you would have if I'd sent a text message, which you normally ignore. So
yeah.
Did that resonate more with you, that voice thing?
Yeah, I think it's because via text, you come across as like next to no authority, but you have a really commanding voice.
I do.
So it's like, oh, I better get back to him straight away. And I kept on calling you sir.
So you did.
In my replies.
You did.
It's just weird.
Yeah.
I don't normally do that.
Yeah, it was Dear Sir you replied, which was weird. Signed off with your full name and middle name.
Yeah, and I kept on saying sorry.
Yeah, you did.
I think that's fine. I think that's the best time to use that, when it's something that's a complex thing to say in text, but easy to say in with your voice.
You seem to be swaying towards you don't like voice notes.
Don't like it when people only communicate via voice notes. I have a friend who does it, and he'll initiate the conversation with a text.
Yeah.
And then after one or two, he'll then start recording. And I don't know what it is. I think maybe it's like a power play. It feels like a power play.
Really? Does it? Because I'm not sure if it is.
I think it is.
You think it is?
In fact, it's definitely a power play.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it is.
When
you think about it.
I think it might be more about you than him, but
What an absolute for doing that.
Well, welcome to Watching Films on the Toilet, podcast with myself, Ben, and Eamonn.
Hello.
In which we talk about movies that we've watched on the toilet because we couldn't watch them with our kids because they're scary or violent, or we just didn't want to. We'd just rather not, because they're annoying, aren't they?
Yeah.
Dad, can you do something? No, I'm watching the film. You know what I mean.
Oh, I know what you mean.
You know what I mean.
I hope all these other parents out there feel the same way.
Yeah, I hope so too.
Feel like,
oh no, I love my children. I wouldn't ever say no to them.
In fact, we'll pause the movie whenever they ask a question so I can give them my full attention. Tell you what, you f*** off.
Yep, so today we're going to be discussing Killers of the Flower Moon, the new Martin Scorsese, as they call him. I think that's what they call him in Chelsea, isn't it?
Do they?
Yeah.
Martin Scorsese,
Have
probably.
you seen the new Martin Scorsese? I mean, it's sublime.
I think people that posh don't watch films. They just go to the opera.
They do. They just have them injected into their cryo spine or something because they're so ripped.
Yeah.
Yeah? The cryo spine?
Yeah. The cryo spine.
Yeah,
I know what you mean.
Now, Eamonn, that was a power play. And I bet you feel pretty small right now.
That was. It talked about something cool that I don't know about. Furiously Googling cryo spine now. I'll be dropping in bits and pieces of it as we go on. Yeah, actually, talking about cryo spines, I think they're pretty good as it goes.
It's so niche, you wouldn't even be able to find it. That's why. So that is probably why. We're going to be talking about that movie in probably about 15 minutes or so.
So if you don't like fun...
Yeah, if you hate fun, let's face it, you would have given up already.
But if that cryospine bit has wetted your whistle, stick around for more of the same.
It was a good bit.
Bit.
Yeah. You'll text me later. Keep that cryospine bit in.
I'll leave a little voice note for you.
Yeah.
That cryospine bit was absolutely fantastic.
It was terrific.
Please respond.
Any correspondence from the last episode, which was about the Exorcist Believer, wasn't it? Which was a horrible mess of a film. But did anyone reply? Anyone write in anything?
Yeah, I've got a letter here. Dear Watching Films on the Toilet. Long-time fan here from the USA, the greatest country in the world. I listened to your last podcast, which was a classic, by the way, and was struck by Eamonn's hatred of Northerners. Those guys sound like a bunch of goofballs. Anyhow, we had a similar problem here in the US of A with a bunch of neighbours who we didn't care for. And let me tell you what we did. We built a big, beautiful wall to keep them out. You should do the same to these northern jerks. They're bringing drugs, they're bringing crime, and some, I assume, are good people. I'm a big fan of your podcast, but it feels like you guys are holding back a little. You got to go big on these things.
Oh.
Like last week, when Ben was saying that women can't fix things, you could just tell what he really wanted to say was that women are stupid idiots. You should just say that, Ben. It's obvious that's how you feel. Keep the anti-women things going. It's got legs. Let's see what happens. Who knows? Maybe you'll grow some balls and start talking about your hatred of immigrants. I would love that. God bless you, fellas. And he's not left a name. Don't know who that's from.
It's interesting that he's picked up on something that I clearly said that was not what I meant. He's really run
context,
with that.
We were talking about jobs that an elderly lady could do because
yes.
Ben was saying it was boring that the lady in The Exorcist was an author.
Ellen Burstyn.
Yeah. It was spitballed a bit. Ben said, oh, maybe she could be a photocopy repair person. Oh, hang on. Women never do that.
No. I said I had never... Often, you normally see men doing that job. I didn't say that women couldn't do it, but I can't say I've ever seen a female photocopy repair person. I would like to. And if you are a female photocopy repair person, please write in and let us know, because I'd like to know how that works.
It's annoying. You can't see the face that Ben's pulling as he's seeing this. It recontextualizes everything he just said.
Yeah. Anyway,
do you have? Okay, I'll save you there, Ben, from that hole you're digging for yourself. Do you have any?
Oh yeah.
If you take a break from hating on women for a second, do you have any correspondence?
I do. We have a letter. So, dear Watching Films on the Toilet, the power of Christ compelled me to write to you after listening to your last episode. I thought your idea of replacing communion wafers with flying saucer sweets was inspired, and I'm planning on trying it out at my church. It's in a small village in the southwest of England, and over the years we've seen a gradual decline in attendance despite my efforts to inject a bit of fun into the masses. Just last month I replaced holy water with holy Fanta. Initially it went down very well. We had a new holy flavour each week. Unfortunately everything went wrong when one of the priests poured fruit twist Fanta over a baby's head during a christening. And that was the end of that. At Easter last year, I had a 10-foot chocolate crucifix erected behind the pulpit. Milk chocolate cross, white chocolate Jesus. But it was unusually hot for April, and a lot of children were left traumatised when Christ started to melt, like that chap at the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark. It was awful, but also quite delicious. My most successful event to date was the Is It a Bible or Is It Cake evening. Ooh. Villagers were invited to bite our Bibles in the hope that it was actually a carefully decorated sponge. We lost a few teeth, but the all-you-can-drink Blood of Christ party that followed was a great success. Please keep coming up with great ideas. Father Grenadine Huff.
Oh, that's a good name.
It's a good name, isn't it? He's even got like a sweet name.
Yeah, Grenadine.
Which is just a strange coincidence, I guess.
I was going to say, I'm surprised that people are losing their teeth biting Bibles. But then, of course, they are quite old, aren't they? Most of the people who go to church.
And some of the Bibles have like a little bit of metal around the edge and stuff.
Oh, yeah, quite in the fancy churches they do.
It's pretty fancy in this village, I think.
Oh, is it? You think that, do you?
I do, because it must be if people have lost their teeth on Bibles, because otherwise it wouldn't make sense.
If you ever bit in the Bible, let us know. Write in.
You bit something, didn't you?
Yeah.
You've ever bit in a Bible, Eamonn?
Not bit in the Bible.
You've bitten anything else?
Yeah, I've bitten some stuff.
Bitten some stuff? Yeah? You got so cross you bit a Bible, didn't you?
No, it wasn't a Bible.
It wasn't a Bible, was it?
No, it wasn't.
No. It's funny. Put me on the spot a bit with that last letter. It's just like it's come full circle. It's quite a nice feeling.
Like some sort of like payback. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
We leave that there, should we?
Do you leave it there if you like, mate?
Okay, so we love pick and mix, don't we, Eamonn?
Oh, it's the best.
And what we've been doing for the past few weeks is we've been talking about a pick and mix sweet, and then we decide whether it would make it to our essential bag. What have we had? We've had fudge cubes, we've had prawns.
Foam prawns, we've had flying saucers.
What pick and mix sweet are we discussing this week?
It's a classic. It is the original Jelly Baby.
The original Jelly Baby.
So,
okay.
The reason I use that phrasing is that in some Haribo bags, they do Jelly Babies. It's not them. It's the Barrett's Jelly Babies, the chunky ones covered in dust.
Dusty. We're talking about dusty Jelly Babies, yeah?
Yeah.
I don't feel like they're around that much in pick and mix.
I feel like I've had a few in pick and mix.
Yeah? So you might find them here and there. Like here and there.
Yeah.
Yeah?
What are you getting at?
No, I'm just saying. It's just an interesting phrase, isn't it? Here and there.
Like two specific places and nowhere else.
Here and there. Nowhere else.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, what do we mean? Like here and there.
Yeah, I mean...
Yeah, no, that's it. That's it.
You know, you clearly see there's something in this. Keep going. Let's keep saying these words over and over again.
When's the last time you had a Jelly Baby? When's the last time you had a Jelly Baby?
Shut up. I feel like I have them quite regularly. Which I think it's one of those things. I think I'll always just put a couple in.
Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you this, Ben. I don't think I'm that much of a fan.
You're going straight in with that?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't quite like them. I like the dust. I like the bite. I like that I quite like that you can bite its head off.
Is that the first thing you always do, bite off the head?
Yeah, is that sadistic? Am I twisted?
I think that's what I usually... They're too big, aren't they, to have in one go?
Yeah.
So if you eat the head first, that's kind of like your starter, and then the rest of the body is the main.
Yeah, much like Body of Christ.
Yeah, and then pudding is just another sweet, I guess.
Pudding of Christ. Yeah, so you got starter, head, body, main, full throw in for the pudding.
Full throw in, that's right, yeah. Like any dessert, it should be as much food as your main and starter combined.
Yeah.
That's how we have our dinners, isn't it?
That's right. So if you were bought, say, like a pecan pie for dessert, you have a little slice. You eat the remainder of that pie all in one go, and then you eat the full pie.
Yeah.
They bring you another pie, and you eat the full pie.
Can I have for my starter? Can I please have a small slice of pecan pie? For my main, can I have the remainder of that pie? And for my dessert, can I please have an additional pecan pie?
No, that's not how it works. This is all dessert.
Yes, it is.
This is all dessert. You break the dessert into three parts, don't you? You've already eaten your meal. You've already eaten
No.
Yeah. You've had
this is
your
not
starter,
what we said.
You've had your main, then you have your dessert. And the dessert is bought in three parts.
No, your starter...
That's what you said.
No, the starter is the head of the Jelly Baby. The body is the main.
Yeah.
And then the dessert is an entirely new Jelly Baby.
But what about the rest of the meal? What if you go to Nando's?
Oh, God. This is making my head
I told
hurt.
you I was tired. This is what happens.
Oh, my God, yeah. I feel I'm desperate to get out of this anyway. I can't.
Okay, well, look. What's your rating? Is it making it into your bag?
Okay, I think what it is I much prefer the Haribo version. They're smaller. I like the texture more. They're like a bit bit chewy. They really nail that sweet spot where it's slightly chewier, but it's not like a chewy sweet.
They got a better
like
bite, haven't they?
Starburst. They got a better bite. Exactly.
Yeah.
Al dente, I believe, is what the Jelly Baby connoisseurs say.
They're just not cooked as well as the others.
To the tooth, I believe, is what.
To the tooth. So they're like normal Jelly Babies. They're cooked for
about 12 minutes.
12 minutes. The Haribo Jelly Babies,
It's 8, if that.
undercooked.
In salted water, boiling salted water. I think the Haribo ones have kind of ruined the Barrett's ones for me, which I feel slightly conflicted about, because I'm guessing Haribo is an American company and Barrett's is an old-fashioned British company, but sod it, they do it better.
I thought you were a patriot.
I hate the British.
I'm pretty sure you're a patriot. You've got a massive Union Jack tattooed on your back.
Yeah, being flushed down a toilet. I've got an even bigger toilet tattooed on my back.
When I asked to see the tattoo, you only ever show me, like, you just lower your collar. I've never seen the whole thing.
I would say you can see the very top
So
bit.
next time, maybe if you lift up your shirt from the bottom, you let me see it. Would I see the toilet?
You see the toilet, and then it's Uncle Sam with a plunger stuffing the Union Jack into a toilet.
Uncle Sam.
Barely had to explain it to the tattoo artist.
Yeah.
So, one of those Uncle Sam stuffing a Union Jack into a toilet, you know what I'm talking about.
You know the one.
On my whole back.
You made that classic mistake of going to the tattoo parlor and just saying, "Surprise me," and that's what you end up with.
Yeah, right, Ben. What rating would you give it?
You haven't given me yours. You
never asked.
I did.
You didn't.
I said
You
before.
start going on about tattoos.
Give me a rating. I did. I can
You
go
didn't.
back and listen to it if you want.
All right, stop everything. Let's go back and listen. Fine. I will give this 4 pick out of 10 mix, and it wouldn't make my essential bag.
Surprised.
What about you?
I like them. I also like the Haribos, but I'd consider them to be kind of different. I wouldn't say... I'd say they're just different sweets. There's a place for both of them.
They're jelly babies, aren't they? So they're not different. They're both shaped like babies, and they're called jelly babies. So
like a green pepper tastes different to a red pepper, doesn't it?
still peppers, though, aren't they? They're not different.
Yeah, but you'd use different one for different occasions. Did I just beat you in an argument?
Yeah, it feels weird.
Yeah, I don't think that's ever happened before.
Hate this feeling.
Okay, I'm going to give it a 7 pick out of 10 mix. I like it. They'd probably make my bag if I saw them. Yeah, I'd throw a couple in.
Sounds good.
Yeah,
All right.
pretty solid. Okay, let's try and not get quite so weird as we talk about Killers of the Flower Moon. Eamonn, how did you see this movie?
I'm literally hot off the press. I've literally just seen it.
You're half the movie.
What about you?
I saw it in the cinema, and I thankfully had a very comfortable seat because it was very long. Okay, well, let's summarise the film then with a summer wee. What did you drink for me to give me the long wee time in which to talk about this movie?
Well, it's 3.5 hour runtime, so I imagine you'd need an awful lot of wee.
Yeah.
So I drank a big bucket of moonshine, just like that illegal liquor that they all drink in the film.
Sweet illegal liquor.
Oh, that's 80% proof. So I can't see anymore. I'm blind.
Excellent.
Oh well.
But how long did it give me?
It was a minute and 21 seconds.
Excellent.
So it was a long wee.
So every cloud, it was you're blind, but it gave me a good old chunk of time. All right, well let's do this. I'm good to go.
Okay, all right. 3, 2, 1, go.
So the year is 1919, and the Osage tribe, who made a whole lot of cash after discovering oil on their land, are being murdered one by one by entitled white folks, and law enforcement aren't doing anything about it, which is all very 1919. Handsome, dumbass Leonardo DiCaprio heads to the reservation to work for his uncle Robert De Niro, a popular deputy sheriff who is brazenly killing off the Osage people in order to inherit their money. whilst wearing ridiculous aviation goggles. DiCaprio falls in love with Lily Gladstone and marries into her rich family, then along with his brother carries out De Niro's murderous plan, systematically killing Lily's sisters in order to inherit a greater share of their fortune. What a jerk. The Assange people, having understandably had enough of the murders and having no luck with private detectives, head to Washington DC for the president's help in the matter, which he sends in the form of the FBI, after they pay him $20,000. It doesn't take the FBI long to work out who's behind the murders, and with his wife incapacitated because he's poisoning her and one of his children dead, DiCaprio decides to testify against his horrible uncle. Before he heads to prison, Lily meets up with her husband, giving him one more chance to be honest with her, but he lies. Again, so she finally turns her back on him. We get a brief epilogue that takes the form of a 1930s radio show, and Scorsese himself steps out to tell us what happened to Lily Gladstone's character, Molly Burkhart, before a contemporary Assange tribal dance marks the end.
Very good.
Yeah, not a lot of lols.
It wasn't that funny, but it was a good, accurate retelling of the story in 1 minute and 27 seconds.
Excellent. Concise. Cool. So it's interesting. I mean, you are hot off the press on this. So you've just come back. What are your first impressions, having just seen it? Because I've a little longer to let it stew.
I have to say, my biggest takeaway is that it's real long.
Yeah, it was very long.
I give my wife a hard time about falling asleep on the sofa when we watch things, and I kind of pride myself on being like, I would never fall asleep through something compelling. Yeah, I did fall asleep. I did have a micro nap.
Did you? When did you fall asleep?
It was around about the time. What woke me up was Robert De Niro paddling Leonardo DiCaprio, and I was like,
wow,
what's going on?
What a way to wake up.
I heard Martin Scorsese saying that the book that this is based on is, I think, a lot more of the police procedural, like how they the committing of the crimes and how they solved them. And he was going this bit too kind of one note, and they decided instead to focus on the relationship.
Yeah, so I think that was Leonardo DiCaprio was going to play Jesse Clemens' role, and then he expanded the handsome dumbass role. Yeah, I'm not sure if that was the right thing to do.
I agree. That's what I was thinking. I would have been quite happy with a really good police procedural. I think it probably would have helped the runtime. And I also felt like if you're going to look into that relationship, you should really tell it from her point of view, because that's the most interesting perspective. I think this is primarily through Leo DiCaprio's eyes. So you kind of feel complicit in the crimes. Also, there's no real kind of like suspense to it. Whereas I think if it was from her point of view, like that reveal that he was poisoning her would have been quite impactful, I think. Yeah,
when you found out that he was doing all these things, it kind of came out of the blue. There was no big reveal there. It was like, oh, right, so he's doing these horrible things. He's been doing this the whole time.
I worried that maybe I'd missed something really important when I had my micro nap.
No. I think the problem for me was that he is not an intelligent character. And he was just obedient. He did love Molly, but it means that he wasn't really driving things forward. He was just going along with it. He just kept making the wrong choices.
Yeah.
And finally did the right one at the end. I mean, we shouldn't root for him, but it's a long journey with a character like that. And I think the detective would have been pushing things forward clearly a lot more.
It's like driving to Edinburgh with your father-in-law. No one wants that.
Lily Gladstone, Molly's poisoning went on for way too long.
Yes.
She was inactive for a very long time, which, you know, I got it. As soon as he started adding something to the insulin, I get it. I know what he's doing.
Every subsequent scene where he's like sneaking in the poison, you think, okay, well, now something's going to happen because we've already seen this happening. So they're not going to show us that again. They'll change it. Yeah. And it's horrible. And it was still horrible. It didn't get more horrible. It was just horrible. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Have you ever poisoned your wife?
Not as far as I know.
We've all done it.
No, I haven't given her... I don't think I've ever given her food poisoning.
But regular poisoning then, with, poison.
Yeah, regular poison, but not, not food poisoning. What about you? Have you poisoned your wife?
I've done regular poisoning, sure.
But just to calm her down a bit. Just to help her rein it in.
She won't listen. She wouldn't listen to reason. So it's just like, okay, yeah, I'm just a light poisoning will take the wind out of her sails, and sure enough, it did, and it still does.
This was made for Apple TV, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So he can make it as long as he wants to make it, but it doesn't mean he should.
I think if you're going to have a film this long, you need to have like an intermission or something. If it's on at the pictures.
Yeah, at my picture house, it wasn't one I went to, but there are showings with intervals. Where would you have had an interval in this if you were watching it?
I would have had 2, I think.
Yeah.
But it was so long.
I think I would have had one right before the radio show, right at the end.
I did like that little epilogue.
Yeah, I thought that was a great scene as well, and it made me think of our current fascination with true crime and how,
Yes.
they reduced this story to basically sound effects for a long time, and I thought it was quite powerful when Scorsese, which apparently is how you should say his name, stepped out. Well, I read one review saying that it was like he was taking moral responsibility for the story. Like by putting himself there, he's showing that this is on me, because people who present these true crime stories and podcasts and whatever, it feels like they just don't really care about the people involved, whereas obviously they should, particularly in a story like this.
That's what I really like about him as a filmmaker, is he thinks about everything, and even if it's not a decision you necessarily agree with, you can tell that there's a lot of thought behind it.
Yeah, absolutely. And it made me look at the whole film in a different way.
Like it was funny, like it was much funnier.
It was a lot funnier.
Yeah.
There was one part that did make me laugh a lot, which was when one of the accomplices, he was talking about getting insurance money. Basically, if I was to kill my children, would I get my wife's inheritance?
Yeah.
And the lawyer was like, I'm going to have to stop you there because it sounds like you're going to kill your children. Well, yeah. Which is dark.
It's so dark.
Really, it's horrible, but it was funny.
I did like this film. I think I would have enjoyed it even more had I watched it at home and broken it up a little bit.
With some snacks, yeah? And you could have watched a bit of YouTube at the same time.
I'd be dual screening, so I'd be watching My Mechanics, Swiss guy who restores old tools. I'd have one of those on the go.
It's better.
So also what helps serious films go down is a little game of mini pool online. Mwah.
So yeah, I went to see the film in the cinema, and when I walked out, there was irritating couples talking quite a lot. I think 2 couples had met up at the cinema for a night out, which is just weird. Like, why would you? Oh, hey, let's go and see this 3.5-hour movie together.
Sit in silence for
go and have a drink or whatever. Anyway, we walked out, and I heard this one woman say to her boyfriend, I don't think she really liked the film, and she said, "I just didn't really respect that woman at all." I just thought, oh my God, like your lack of empathy.
Yeah.
You didn't respect her. And I think it was because she sort of said, well, she married him. Like, she knew he wanted her money. Like, he then killed her entire family and she lost a child, but not a lot of respect for her, really. It's just like, well, those things haven't happened to me, so I can't really, relate to that. If you're listening, that woman, if you're listening to the podcast, please write in and maybe explain to us where your shocking lack of compassion comes from.
Tell us which other protagonists you hate as well.
Which other tortured heroes you despise.
I hate that Andy Dufresne. Doesn't say anything, he just gets raped the whole time.
Yeah, he went to prison, didn't he?
Went to prison and he gets duffed up. He's an idiot.
Oh, what a clown.
I tell you what, the one thing that did this fight strike me, did she know that he tried to kill, he did kill her family before the trial?
That was what I was wondering. I think maybe she didn't.
Because there's no cutaway when he admits to killing her sister.
I'm not entirely sure. I mean, when she met him after that, she was disgusted by him.
But she didn't mention any of that stuff. She just wanted to hear him confess to poisoning her. I guess that was the one thing he could have been truthful about, but he chose not to be. What's the biggest lie you've told your wife? That I've never been married before. Please, Ben, you can't tell her, but I've been married twice before. Should we put it in the episode description? That's fine. Okay. I mean, fortunately, my wife never listens to this podcast ever.
No, it's good. It's good for the audience. It's good for the. It's good for the numbers.
Well, sometimes, do you know what? I'm glad I've had my secret wives in the past, just out of spite, because she never listens to it. Have you heard that?
Great soundbite.
We all know about your ex-wives, or should I say, current wives.
Yeah, I mean, I love them all.
You've got so many that you've stopped calling them by name and just use like physical attributes. So you've got your tall wife.
Yeah. Keep going.
Cross wife.
Yeah.
Strong wife. You've got one who's really strong.
Like that woman from Encanto.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Really big.
Yeah, she's good. She's really strong. She's very, very handy to have around.
You've got your gay wife. That one always fascinates me.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know when I married her.
Yeah, but you've kept it going anyway.
Yeah, you got to keep it going. It's you know, I like them all.
Eye patch wife. That's one of my favourites. She hates it when you do a pirate impression, doesn't she?
She does. I'm subtle about it. Like, I'll throw it in like, oh, do you want anything from Sainsbury's? I'm going to pop to the Argos inside.
Your jail wife?
She's never been out of jail, but I wrote to her and we were married.
Yeah, it's one of those weird things, isn't it? Where you fell in love with her and just built a relationship online.
Yeah.
Can't talk about the horrible things she's done. So, yeah, would you flush this film away or would you fish this out?
I think if you'd asked me a few days ago, I was quite down on it. I was wondering if this was the right way to tell this story. But I thought a lot about the end of the film. It is a bit of a commentary on true crime in general. And the fact that this story has now been presented to a huge audience, which I think is very important. And I did enjoy the film. There was some horrible stuff. But I thought the performances were very strong. It kept me interested for 3.5 hours. I would fish it out. Is it one of Scorsese's best? I don't know. It was one of Leo's best performances, particularly his gurning towards the end of the film. And I thought Lily Gladstone was fantastic. She was really, really good. And De Niro. So yeah, what about you?
I don't think it's a Scorsese all-time great. It's really interesting and it's flawed, like we said. But I think I'll probably buy the book that it's based on. Makes you want to find out more about more about the Osage people and that sort of context. And I know I had a micro nap, but I was incredibly tired.
That's okay. That's all right. We are two dads with a podcast. Two dads,
yeah. But so I would fish this out. I think it's great that a filmmaker like him is still getting these big budgets to make really interesting films, and it's nice watching something that's not part of a franchise. Like, I can't imagine there's going to be a Killers of the Flower Moon extended universe. Okay,
so that means Killers of the Flower Moon is going in the tank of glory. We have, I think at the moment we've got The Loved Ones, Infinity Pool, Extraction 2, Evil Dead Rise, and John Wick 4.
I mean,
what a collection.
What? I mean, half of those were not on my watch.
No, well, you left, so there we go. So, pick a number, and I'll tell you which one's leaving. Between 1 and 5.
2.
2. Okay, that is John Wick 4, which I am very sad to lose.
Can't see what I'm doing. I'm interlocking my hands to create one large fist and then shaking it either side of my head.
John Wick 4 is being replaced by Killers of the Flower Moon, which is
right.
Which is fine. So there we go. Good. Right. Here's the song. On to this week's top 5. And Martin Scorsese is famously a very small man. In fact, how tall is he?
He's 5'4".
5'4", all right. I mean, he's Hollywood average. So what we thought we'd do for our top 5 is compare the heights of celebrities. And if we guess the taller of the two celebrities, then we win.
Hey.
And if we don't, we lose. So whoever gets the most at the end wins.
All right.
I lost last week.
I think I've got the hang of this.
Okay.
So Fern Troyer from Austin Powers.
Yeah.
And Robert Wadlow, the tallest man to ever live. Who do you think is the tallest out of those two?
Ooh, are we talking tall as in height or tall as in spirit?
Yeah, either.
Either.
That's why it's hard.
Tricky one. I'm going to go with the much taller man.
It is Robert Pershing Wadlow. That was just a joke. That was just to warm you up.
Crazy guy. I was really pleased I got that.
Here's a real one. Tom Cruise or Jack Black? Who's the taller?
Have they been in a movie together? Tropic Thunder. They've circulated, haven't they?
Exactly.
Tom Cruise is notoriously short. I think you might be trying to throw me a curveball there. But am I double bluffed? I think Tom Cruise is taller.
Correct. Tom Cruise is 5'7". Jack Black is 5'6".
Ooh. Tom Hardy. I'm Hardy. Or Charlize Theron.
Oh, that's a good one.
Starred together and conflicted in old Mad Max Fury Road.
And Cross Max, I
Got
believe.
in her face, apparently. Was he looming over her or staring up at her? Either way, completely inappropriate.
Yeah. Oh, good question. I reckon Charlize Theron was a model, I think. Or was a model and was quite tall.
Yeah.
So I reckon she's like 5'10" or something like that, maybe. Tom Hardy, he's a big fella.
I will tell you this. You got Charlize Theron's height right.
Oh, 5'10". Jeez Louise.
You're a good height guess, man.
Wow.
Is Tom bigger or shorter?
When he was Bane. He looked big, didn't he?
He does cut an imposing figure as Bane, doesn't he?
Oh, Ben. This is a devilish one. I will say Tom Hardy.
It's Charlize.
Oh, so how tall is Tom Hardy?
Tom Hardy's 5'9", which is surprising because he is
Bigger than that.
He's such an imposing figure on film,
He is, yeah.
but he's not a huge guy.
Good one. Okay, right. Michael Jordan from the film Space Jam.
Okay.
And LeBron James from Space Jam A New Legacy, I think it's called.
Having watched The Last Dance, which was amazing.
So good.
I feel like Michael Jordan was not tall for a basketball player.
Mm-hmm.
He could jump ridiculously high, but I don't think he was particularly tall. LeBron James, he's a big dude. I mean, they both are. I'm going to go with LeBron.
Correct. So Michael Jordan 6'6", LeBron James 6'9".
Ooh, that's quite a difference, isn't it?
It is. He's got a lovely big bushy beard as well.
Oh, he has got a nice beard, isn't he? Okay, here's another one. Keira Knightley or Al Pacino?
Al Pacino is a small dude.
How does it go? Yeah.
Just a regular Creole guy. Born and raised New York.
Tall, short, it don't matter. Very small.
I would say Keira Knightley.
You are correct.
Yes.
Keira Knightley is 5'6.25". Al Pacino is 5'6".
See a pattern.
So she's a quarter of an inch taller.
You see a pattern, and what Ben's trying to do is making the women win every time to try and get back in the ladies' good books. Oh, actually, there's plenty of tall women. It's not just men who are tall. Yeah, okay. I cracked Ben's code.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, go on.
Right, Steven Seagal or John Cleese?
Ooh, that's hard because I know Cleese is tall, but I know Seagal's a
Yep.
So I think I'm going to go with Cleese.
Yes, very good.
Yes,
You're crushing this. John Cleese 6'5", Steven Seagal 6'4".
That was close. Jeremy Strong or Jason Statham?
I think Jeremy Strong is about 5'9". 5'8" seems pretty short for Statham.
There's not a lot in it, I'll tell you that.
Well, I mean, there's a quarter of an inch in your last one.
Exactly.
Is that?
But still, it's someone's taller, you know? Someone's always taller.
I'll say Statham's taller.
Statham is half an inch taller. So Jeremy Strong is 5'8.25" inches.
Yeah.
Jason Statham is 5'8.75" inches.
Right, here we go. Sylvester Stallone and Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Ooh. I was thinking, like, I'm sure I've seen Stallone next to Arnie, and I think Arnie's 6'2", maybe. Van Damme doesn't seem big. He doesn't seem like a tall guy, but I've never met him. I've never met Stallone either. I'm going to go with taller Stallone.
Stallone is 5'9". Jean-Claude Van Damme is 5'10".
Oh, Van Damme's bigger.
He's
okay.
a big boy. So you're on 3 and I'm on 2.
Henry Cavill or Keanu Reeves.
Oh, damn. You really put a lot of thought into these. These are real head scratchers.
I don't think many people know heights, really. It's so tricky because you, as you said, you see them against other people, but they're standing on boxes.
Yeah.
You don't know how big these people are.
Superman is usually a strapping chap, isn't he? They have big fellas. But I know he's quite tall, isn't he, Keanu? I think he's like 6'2" or something. And I think you're trying to hoodwink me into going for Cavill.
Hoodwink?
Hoodwink. That's right, I went there. Make me think that it's Cavill because he's broader. But I'm going to say Keanu's taller.
He is.
Yes.
He is 1/4 of an inch taller.
For God's sake. Oh, you've made yours so hard.
So Cavill is 6'1.5" and Keanu Reeves is 6'3" of an inch.
Okay, all right. So Whoopi Goldberg and Scarlett Johansson.
I don't feel like Whoopi Goldberg's that big. Scarlett Johansson is... I have no idea. I'm going to go with Scarlett.
Scarlett Johansson is 5'3". Whoopi Goldberg is 5'5".
Oh, no.
Deceptively short, Scarlett Johansson.
Denied.
I was surprised. I was surprised at her height. I thought she was taller.
Yeah. Wow.
There we go.
Okay.
All
Okay,
right.
last one then. This is for the win, Eamon. Denzel Washington or Jamie Foxx?
Another good one, because Denzel always seems like a tall guy, I think, because he holds himself really well.
He does hold himself well.
But I don't think Jamie Foxx is that short either. I reckon Denzel's about 5'10", and Jamie is 5'9". So I'm going to say Denzel is taller.
You are correct.
Yes.
Well done. Well done.
Oh.
Denzel's actually taller than that. Denzel is 6'1",
Oh.
and Jamie Foxx is 5'9".
Ah.
So you're on the right track. Yeah, well done. Very good, Eamon. You
Comeback.
turn that around. You turn that around.
That's a great... I mean, what an inspirational story that is.
I feel quite... it was quite intense.
I think we all feel quite emotional after that, don't we?
That was good. I like that game.
The story of that game was more compelling than any of the Expendables.
It did. It had more peaks and troughs. How are we going to compare celebrities next time?
You know exactly how.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, man, I wish you could see the gesture Ben just did.
Yeah.
It was smoking hot. Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Let's get in hot in here. Okay. So, thanks, everyone. You did really well getting this far.
Well done.
And we did really well just getting something down. Just getting something down.
Something out there.
Thanks very much to all our Patreons.
You're hot.
You're smoking hot.
Yeah. Mum.
This week, each patron... weird. This week, having talked about gestures, we're going to describe each Patreon as a gesture.
Okay.
So, Michael Foster is a nod and a wink and kind of taking off an imaginary hat.
Yeah.
That's his gesture.
I tell you what Raph is. You know that thing Vigo does in Eastern Promises?
Yeah.
2 fingers under the chin.
That's a
what
good
Raph
one.
is.
That's Raph.
My mum, on the other hand, is full palm under the chin and swipe away.
Yeah. Was
That
it
one.
Vafangul?
Yeah. And what about my dad?
Your dad is the D-Generation X, where they do the cross over the junk.
Shawn Michaels came back to WWE
Yeah.
with Triple H, so DX are back together. They didn't do the thing.
What? That's the best bit.
He did a big X, stood above him, and he did his splits thing. They didn't do the thing.
They've workshopped that with
D-Generation woke, more like.
Exactly. Guys, can we take a look at this gesture where you're doing a cross over your junk? Not sure that's in the spirit of our modern...
We've put it out there with a very broad test audience, and 98% of them were really offended by it. So,
almost all of them were sick.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's what your dad is.
You've got to make that noise as
And
well.
it makes that noise. When you isolate the audio, when they do that, if you drown out all the crowd sounds, it's just like Shawn Michaels. Yeah. It's that noise. Yeah. So thanks everyone for listening.
Find us on social media, rate, review, subscribe, and have a really great day.
Yeah, okay. Can't top that, so I'll just say keep flushing.